Let me just start off today's video by saying thank you. About a month ago, I had the opportunity to go playtest The Crew 2. This came to me thanks to Nick, who couldn't make it himself and offered me to go as a representative of AR12 Gaming. And I also want to thank Ubisoft for receiving me. It was a really awesome experience and I hope to go again. That having been said, today we're going to be talking about The Crew 2. More specifically, we're going to be talking about the experience that I had, the feelings I had, and how I feel about the game. We're not going to be talking about all the new features, stuff that you guys might be really excited about. Nick has covered that in the video, and I highly recommend you go and check that out because he'll probably do it much better than me. What I think I'm more suited to do is, instead of talking about features, I'm going to talk about my experience, how I feel, and whether or not I think you guys should be getting The Crew 2. So let's start things off with a pretty simple question. Did I enjoy The Crew 2? Whee! Is The Crew 2 a fun game? Yeah! Should you get it? Whee! Am I annoying? Yes, okay. With all the statements I've just made, I feel it's only appropriate for me to say this. Obviously, I need to justify my answers. So for that, let's get into it. So why am I so confident in my answer when I say that The Crew 2 was really an incredible experience? I'm not talking about the whole entire trip. I'm literally just talking about the game. Well, that's pretty simple. It's because when I played the game, I felt something that I hadn't felt in forever. Probably something I hadn't felt since I played Forza Horizon 2 for the first time. Forza Horizon 2 for me was a really new experience. You know, the kind of experience that gives you butterflies when you discover a new game that you think you can really like. Well, The Crew 2 doesn't play like anything else I've ever played in terms of racing games. It doesn't just improve on its predecessor, it doesn't add new features, doesn't just improve the graphics. It's an entirely new experience, and one that I am absolutely fascinated and exhilarated by. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this game. I don't know what the next Forza Horizon game, and honestly at the moment I don't care. I just can't wait for Crew 2 to come out. That's how I feel about this game. So let's just start by focusing on the cars, the driving aspect of the game, and let me tell you something. One of my biggest turnoffs for The Crew 1, and I've said this before in the past, was the driving physics. I didn't like how the cars handled. Now, I understand that it was an arcade style game and that the physics weren't meant to represent simulation, but that doesn't mean that the cars should feel wrong when you drive them. Need for Speed is an arcade style, and when you drive them, the cars feel really good. I'm happy to say that The Crew 2 completely nails this. The cars feel so right when driving them, and it's really something that I'm happy to be able to say. Now, the drifting's a little interesting, but I think that's just because I don't know how it works properly yet. Once I get good at it, I'll get back to you. But from what I felt, it seems like it has a lot of potential to be a lot of fun because the barrier of entry for it isn't that high. You don't need to be really skillful, you just need to understand how the physics work. And we all know me and physics, we get along great. Moving on, we focus on the planes, the air, the sky, the space. This is something new to The Crew 2, and this is something that feels right. The way the planes handle, the way they accelerate, decelerate, and how physics apply to them. I'm no pilot, but I've been in a plane before and I've played other flight games. This feels right. Planes can sometimes be boring, especially if you're traveling point to point. There's not much to do, you're simply flying in a straight line. But they can be incredible source of fun. The funnest times that you can have with planes is when challenging yourself to fly low between buildings or creating an obstacle course while trying to perform certain maneuvers. The idea is to challenge yourself, enjoy the game, use it to your benefits. Lastly, we have the boats. In my opinion, they're one of the least exhilarating gameplay aspects in the game, but that's also because of my limited experience is what I think. Because if you're simply doing a race in the ocean or an open area or lake where there's a lot of room to maneuver, it's not very challenging. You're simply lining your boat up with the next point. That's it. That's all there is to it. That having been said, at some point I decided to go and explore the Grand Canyon. I actually took my boat down there into a narrow alleyway where it was nothing but tight corners and pinpoint maneuvering. And that was exhilarating because it was challenging. You need to seek out the challenges in The Crew 2. They provide you with an incredible map, which means that not every vehicle might be fun in every element. but you can seek out and find the element in which you can challenge yourself and have the most amount of fun. Now, we've talked about the driving, we've talked about the planes, and we've talked about the boats. But let's talk about all of them, because this is where I think something magical happens. It is a lot of fun. You could fly up to the highest ceiling altitude and then transform into a boat or a car and drop straight down. Now, while there's nothing much to it than just waiting for your boat or car to hit the ground, there's a lot more to be done. For example, trying to land on a building with a car. I know I spent a lot of time doing that, and it never got boring. I never succeeded either, but that's besides the point. You can do really fun transitions. You'll go from the sea to the air to the car to the air to the sea very smoothly and without thinking about it, and those are the funnest moments because it gives the game a certain flow that you've never seen in another game. There are no walls, there are no limits as to where you can go. Simply think about where you want to go and how you can get there in the most creative way possible, and the game will allow you to do it. And that is something magical to me. I think that's what makes this game so special to me and why I love it so much. Because it's not the simple race experience that we've had from so many other open world games. It's a completely new experience. It doesn't just add planes, it doesn't just add boats, it changes the driving experience itself by letting you change to planes and boats whenever you want. Instead of just driving into water, as you're driving into water, you change into a boat, start driving on that water. Then let's say you want to go on the Golden Gate. Well, simple, you change to a plane, fly up to the Golden Gate, change to a car, land on it. Why? Because it's the Crew 2 and it lets you do it. Now, I'm very conscious that the version I got to play of the game was not the final build. That having been said, the parts that I did get to experience, the parts that I think were complete, were incredible in my opinion. The UI was flush, the online experience was fluid. Everything you wanted to do is very intuitive. I had a lot of fun, and it didn't take me long to figure out everything about the game that I needed to know. It's very intuitive like that, and it's also very open. It doesn't force you into a narrow mission arc right off the bat. It makes you do that first opening race, and then it's like, here's the whole entire map. Have fun. Oh, you want to fast travel there? I don't see a problem with that. It does not limit you with progression. It's just like, hey, you know what? Here's a giant sandbox. Go and have fun. And if you get bored of playing by yourself, here are a bunch of cool races and events and challenges that you can do that we provide for you. It is incredible the amount of content that there is in this game. I'm absolutely astounded by what I got to see, and I cannot wait to play this game. So, to end this, I guess it's a bit of a conclusion. I didn't talk about all the features, I was just really talking about my experience with the game itself, and how I felt it felt, which I know sounds very redundant, but let me get to my final point. My point being, I don't know what Forza Horizon has planned, or what the next big open world game is, but if you're saving up to buy one racing game this year, I would put my money on the Crew 2, because it's something we've never seen before, and because it's just that much fun. At least it was to me, and I think it could also be to you. Well guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed. I hope I covered a lot of the points that I wanted to get across. If I did not and I was unclear, please let me know in the comments below. That having been said, if you have any questions about the Crew 2, things that you're concerned about or things that you'd like to know about, please let me know in the comments down below. If there's a lot of them, then I will make another video addressing all of those. If there's not that many, I'm just going to address them all separately in the comments. So if you have questions about the game's concerns and or questions with regards to things that I said, please let me know. Also, links to my social media are in the description down below. I would really appreciate if you guys would go and check those out. We're also going to be doing a Twitch stream this upcoming Friday. It's been a while, so if you want to join us on that one, be sure to follow me on Twitch. The Discord server is a great place to be. It's where I just talk to the fans, and also they give me a lot of input on videos that I can apply into making thumbnails and or just improving the video in general. So if you want to be part of that community, we'd be more than happy to have you. That having been said, my name is Raymond. I have one last thing to sell out on, buy a Ditch Vision shirt, and until next time, please enjoy. Goodbye, everyone.